in Dreamtime on the night of June 14th. It's in my dream journal. Going into June 15th, there was an activation that connected into Sirian and Pleiadian timeline memory vision. So I take this as an activation and remembering. I will share with you insights that were gleaned and unfold some current things that are underway. Now, given that we are at an end cycle, this means that the third density experience and cycle of this planetary being ends. So everything that has been hidden will come into the light. And this, as many of you already know, is the very meaning of the word apocalypse. And it is through this Dreamtime Insight that I'm sharing today that I have seen that we would call representatives from the worlds that are truly free, that are connecting into humans and then connecting into some physical events that are taking place recently. I look forward to diving in with you. One thing that keeps coming up for me consistently is it truly is time for as many as possible to be fully aware of the malevolent hijackers that have been manipulating Earth, Terra, Gaia, and these timelines. And there are, on the opposite side of that spectrum, far more magnificent, benevolent forces that have always been guiding us. And many of us called the Wanderers, the Starseeds, the Indigos. Doesn't really matter what you call us, but the ones here to assist. We are here to serve in the shift and unveiling. And that's why I openly speak on these truths consistently. As you'll see if you haven't been to my channel before, or if you are a returning viewer, thank you again for watching. Let's take a moment. Let's pretend, and you can close your eyes if you'd like. Let's pretend that we're gathering around the eternal flames of the sacred fire once again, so that we can bask in its radiant glow, for it illuminates not only the night sky, but also our souls. And it's in this enchanted space that we are transported to primordial times, where tales of wonder and magic were woven into the very fabric of existence. The warmth of the fire caresses our spirits, beckoning us to share stories of our journeys and quests. And you can open your eyes. For quite a long time now, I have known my direct correlation with the Pleiades and often wondered aspects of that which would come to life in memories and such and start unfolding in bigger ways. My heart has always been connected to the benevolent beings of Sirius and Sirius B to be more exact, and also Pleiades. I also hold memories or knowings of Shambhala, but that is for another time. But it really is connected into these aspects of Sirius, Pleiades, the inner realms of this planetary being, and much more. The Dreamtime Insight of this night that I speak of, June 14th into the 15th. So I had written a few pages, and what came to me even post this Dreamtime Insight and then into meditation the next day, there's other things that have come into my awareness which have been so intriguing. This night of the June, basically the night of the 14th into the 15th for me, what I'm going to introduce is a larger activation and remembering that I think is happening for many of us. Maybe not in the same ways, but this is not just about me, of course, but also to the many of you connected into these similar conscious energies. We could say into these arcs of light, angles of light. So I'm sharing this story in those genuine energies of truly connecting once again within the sacred fire. This Dreamtime vision, I was on a large ship, and there was a memory that showed a group of us on this ship, and we were figuring out how an origin race that has been known as the Oraphim family would assist to support in the ascending indigo human families here on the Earth timeline, but it was also other timelines, or other Earths, we could say as well. Because what had happened is there was a break in the technology, or something had happened to the technology or the engineering by the malevolent forces that I speak of frequently. And this need for the Oraphim direct connection to human has been very rare, not needed, unless it's in instances that are dire, which you can imagine, obviously. Earth, this timeline is dire, has been for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. This coming together was about restoring the ability for the Oraphim and their diamond genetic template. It's a genetic diamond crystalline template that comes from the sun. And actually, the interesting thing is that I spoke about this in my last video called Lioness, Warrior, Healer, Wisdom, about healing eons of grief, Diamond Sun DNA, and the power of letting go. This technology or the ability is about being able to bring those codes into humans that serve as sovereign beings, not channelers per se, or some hijacked vessel. Really, it's about a soul coming in and choosing to be sovereign in the choice to come in and assist. This is what I call the cosmic wanderers. We can say indigos, we can say starseeds. Anyway, it's about the sovereign humans that are choosing to come in to timelines that are in dire need. And it's about integrating lost consciousness of Emerald Founder races, these races of beings. And we've actually also called the Emerald Founder races Ascended Master lineages as well. And in this memory vision, we were figuring out how to get the Oraphim and the other Emerald Founder races to be able to communicate and or how to return their consciousness to humans directly on this planetary being that we call Earth. So, and this was after the fall of the Terra timeline, the Terran planetary experience. And so it was eons ago, but it's also in the future simultaneously. It's about timelines, and we can also look at this again as an eternal now. So the humans that received the codes that I'm speaking of in this Dreamtime vision on this ship are the family of indigos. We're here in this timeline, and what we have inside of us is basically a genetic package of the original Sirius B Oraphim parents. And so the Sirian and Pleiadian coming together on this ship, as I was seeing it on the ship, was to ensure that all of those genetic records that stream in and or are encoded in memories, etc., and as that's coming into the indigo and the starseed families that are carrying these codes of the Christ, or we can say the Christos, or really what this is saying is unity consciousness. So this technology or engineering pathway was all about ensuring that representatives of Oraphim, the avatar and of the angelic realm or creator world or ascended master, or we could say the Emerald Founder races consciousness, etc., was actually able to fully connect, communicate into humans, those of us that choose to assist and serve as indigos. We're sovereign in the choice, and those consciousness angles that are coming in or that we are embedded with are from worlds that are free from these malevolent beings and these lower astral forces. And so what I saw in the technology pathways or the links or the portals and how this was working, it's hard to describe the vision, but the technology has been attempted to be terminated from use by the malevolent forces. But it was really clear from this Dreamtime vision that we figured it out, fixed it, and the pathway link worked. And so then it's as if the memory changed into the now time, and it was still on this ship. And so I saw a woman, an older woman, but also not an older woman. It was interesting that vibrant essence of the soul just emanating from her being. She had long white hair, bright, beautiful, crisp blue eyes. And again, her spirit was so vibrant, so young, and I just felt this instantaneous joy to connect with her again. And she was walking next to some other humans still on this ship, and she saw me, or she saw my consciousness, I guess you could say, and she was just walking with some other humans. She had a huge smile on her face. And she looked at me with a big smile and a wink. And it's in that moment that I was like looking in that direction, and I wondered, well, why doesn't she just come over? But then telepathically, I heard the communication, I'm saving you for last to speak to. And there was a feeling from those words that I had to learn to wait for more on this aspect. And that there was huge learnings and DNA activations coming through, of which is what I've actually experienced throughout June 2024. So just this past month at the time of this recording. You can learn more about that huge integration, and it was a huge grieving process that I know many of us in this Indigo family went through. And the video is the same one that I had mentioned before, which is the Lioness Warrior Healer Wisdom, where I talked about healing eons of grief, Diamond Sun DNA, and the power of letting go. The Dreamtime vision actually ended after she actually did make her way over to me. And as she was in front of me, I ran my fingers through her white, beautiful hair, and I just felt this dear soul. And I said, thank you, dear one. I know it's time. And then she looked within me deeply, and she said, I've saved you for last to talk to, as we have much too much to talk about. And it was then that dream ended. And what kind of a wave that happened as that ended, and as I left the ship, you could say, my cells felt this woman is a Pleiadian part of my consciousness, or a dear soul family friend. And so that entire Dreamtime vision has been an activation, and what I'm saying is the Pleiadian call. And my day of birth, 7/7, is connected to that all. And so now I know that it's time for more learnings. Now I want to share that the next morning, so this would be on the morning of the 15th, when I was in meditation, I just had this inner knowing. This inner knowing is just how I always receive information, because it's living and it's breathing literally in my cells and in my sacred heart. And what I was receiving, or what I heard, you could say, is that there's a next level ascension activation coming in. And that is a connection of Sirius and Pleiadian memories, roots, we could say, agreements, pacts, that are activating in many of us Indigos and in Starseeds, surely, but perhaps in different ways. So I can only speak to my experience as an Indigo and Starseed, so I'm sharing that angle. But as I've integrated all of this, because it's been a few weeks and it's been a lot to integrate, and I realized that it has been a crystalline DNA activation turning on, we could say, of the blueprints and records of the 5D planetary experience and timeline of Terra. It now makes a whole lot more sense to me, and it's with this Sirian-Pleiadian connection, pact, or point of integration that is coming in, because the next cool thing that has taken place since all of this has been flooding into the awareness, a friend of mine randomly sent me a text, not knowing anything about what I'm sharing here today, because I haven't shared it with him at all, and he popped this text over with a link to this post. And so it says, this is a large craft from the Pleiades, and it's a part of a big fleet, and there's a mothership. So it was in that instantaneous moment that I was like, oh, I went to the mothership. And so this post is from July 7th. So this is just a few days ago at the time of this recording. But this ship has been here for longer than that. Then I obviously dug deeper, and wouldn't you know it, it was connected into a mainstream news article about a UFO sighting. Dark metallic discs has been repeatedly spotted over Colorado, and this is from June 28th. But this has been updated, and so what I realized is that there was actually earlier writings about these crafts that are coming in. And what it says is that obviously this is not a satellite or drone or anything like that. It's been seen by multiple people, including employees of the amphitheater, the Red Rocks amphitheater. And it was seen at 1 a.m. on June 5th. So we can connect into this June timeframe. And the interesting thing is that this huge craft that was seen isn't the mothership, but it's another ship, but it had 3 levels of windows. These are the little dot connectors that tie up all the goings on that happen in Dreamtime and then connect into the physical, right? What I can be clear on at this point is there are many of us that have gone through massive cleansings and purgings in just this past month alone. And I know that this is the 6D Indigo family with the blueprints and records from the 5D Terra planetary experience and timeline. And also with the genetic package of the original Sirius B Oraphim parents. So that's how this is all connecting. And in this learning, since this memory vision, what comes to me now with much more to come through is more activation. But this is about those of us here as mothers of the 7 aspects of life. This has been called the wives of the 7 sages of the Great Bear, Pleiades. And all of this is related to the cosmic mother aspect that feeds the Christed cosmic Sophia child, which is the very solar system and its original creation codes. And as I would actually like to say, origin magic. Then randomly, I was guided into writings of a woman who wrote a book. And I think that the book was written in 1920. Her name is Alice Bailey. And I had never heard of her or come across this woman at all. But she has a book called Initiation, Human and Solar. And I haven't read the entire thing yet, but here are some amazing excerpts that I'd like to include. So just a perfect close to this video. This is from the book. It is said in esoteric astrology that the Pleiades are the vehicle of manifestation of the 3rd aspect, substance appearance, of a great cosmic being which, with the Great Bear is signifying the 1st aspect of spirit and life, and the Little Bear, which is the 2nd aspect, which is soul quality, and through the local regency of Sirius. And this is Sirius is a reflection of the soul quality, gave origin to the 7 solar systems, of which ours is part. The Bears and the Pleiades, with Sirius as an intermediate point of focus, constitute the spiritual triad which governs the spiral cyclic activity of our solar system. The Pleiades are to the solar system the source of electrical energy. And just as our sun is the embodiment of the heart or love aspect of the Logos, so the Pleiades are the feminine opposite of the Brahma, the vehicle of the 3rd aspect, which is the creator. The 7 stars of the Pleiades are the goal for the 7 types of liberated humanity. And this is actually hinted at in the book of Job in the words, "Canst thou bind the sweet influence of the Pleiades?" In the mystery of this influence and in the secret of the sun and Sirius are hidden the facts of our cosmic evolution and instantly, therefore, of our solar system. So I thought that this was a really magnificent way to close because everything about this activation of Sirius and Pleiadian roots, the 6D Indigo family really coming online more and more. And this is coming from a place that allows us to remember more and allows us to collapse timelines. And when we collapse the timelines, what we're actually doing is healing the timelines. More and more we will see unfold as we move through 2024, especially into 2025, and most definitely as we move into 2030, because this is about reclamation. It's about having reverence for these origin codes and activations coming in, allowing us to remember, allowing us to use memory. We're meshing origin, coming back online with this new variety, because again, we're developing this whole quote unquote new earth aspect that's going to be different than it was done previously. We're mending the tear in the universe and all of creation. So I am really excited to hear about your experiences. Please comment below and please share this video with like-hearted souls. It's truly the only way that this channel is ever going to grow, given the powers that be don't really like talking about truth, as we well know. So I hope that this inspires an awakening of more of your magic. Please subscribe to get more videos that are meant to illuminate the path for indigos and starseeds and all of the humans that are here with sacred missions to serve as the pioneers in this massive paradigm shift of consciousness. Together, we are remembering the original creation magic. Thank you for watching.